those traditional neighborhoods that I don't want to say forgotten because we don't forget our neighborhoods in
Yeah.
Chandler. I like going back in there and I have like a round table type of foundation where we go in, we have a neighborhood meeting, we bring in the police department, bring in the firefighters, we bring in our neighborhood resources, we bring in our community services departments, and we have the residents come in, tell us what are they missing in their neighborhoods, what would they like to see.
Welcome back to the Around the District podcast, where we're bringing conversations to you with people shaping our communities, districts, and the future of Arizona. I'm Gabrielle Mazar.
I'm Nicole Brown.
And on today, we have the sitting Chandler Vice Mayor, Angel Encinas. His roots run deep in Chandler. He was raised in the heart of downtown Chandler, graduating from Chandler High, and went to ASU. He's a small business owner and working as a realtor. He was first elected to Chandler City Council in 2022, and is seeking re-election. So welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me today.
So, Angel, tell us about yourself.
Oh my gosh, that's a long question here, but well, a little bit, as you mentioned in my intro, I grew up in Chandler my entire life. I'm a hometown kid, right in the heart of downtown Chandler. I'm a product of Chandler Unified School District, graduated from Chandler High School, continued my education at Chandler Gilbert Community College, graduated from Arizona State University with my bachelor's degree. For my professional work, as you mentioned, I do immigration consulting. I help people legalize. That's anything from work authorization, citizenship, residency. I also do real estate on the side as well to help people find their forever homes there. And from there, and I also serve our city, our main point here and stuff, which has been a great honor to do over the last couple years and stuff, giving back to my community. So I'm enjoying that. And yeah, and then besides that, I like to hang out with my family, my friends, and I'm a big traveler. I love to travel. So yeah, a little bit about
So,
me.
you are in immigration law?
I am not an official immigration attorney. I
Okay.
do all the document preparation to help people legalize in that sense. Once they get to a certain period where they do need representation in an immigration court and stuff, I do refer them out, or I do, if they can't afford any type of an attorney or representation, I do tell them how they can self-represent themselves, letting them know their rights through that process. Yes.
So, what's happening today is very relevant to
Oh,
what
yes.
you're doing, right?
Very much so. Yes.
Has your business really picked up?
It's always been consistent. It's just more of a strategic type of work now. In the last year, through the administration, there's been a lot of different tactics in order to, whether it's deny people, make the process harder, make the hurdles higher. It's been a lot to kind of go through, but my family's been doing this work for 35 years. My mom, who started this type of work, has gone through various different administrations. She has said that this time around has been the toughest one that we've seen, but people are still getting approved. We're still jumping those obstacles and those hurdles and getting what we need to get done, making sure our T's are crossed and our I's are dotted, that everything is perfect to make sure that our clients that we represent are getting approved and are being carried along the way for this. So,
And on top of that, you do real estate and you serve the city of Chandler.
yes, on top of
All the
that.
things.
Yes.
Okay, so growing up in downtown Chandler, that seems like a lot of fun. I love downtown Chandler. It's a quaint little charming city to me. But what was the exact moment or local issue that really made you say, I want to run for something, and in particular, Chandler City Council?
Yeah, so I've always had a sense or a thought that at one point I do want to serve the community or do something a little bit more. And when it ties back to my work that I do in immigration already. So I've been doing that work. And again, my mom's been a neighborhood activist my entire life. She helped found the first United Farm Workers office right in downtown Chandler. So I grew up in that movement. Grew up to see all that activism around me. So it was very inspiring to see that as a young kid. And then growing and doing this type of work in immigration has been very rewarding for me. And so our office has always been a hub for clients, residents, friends, family to come in. Hey, I need assistance with X, Y, and Z. I need help here. And I just found myself being kind of more of a navigator and helping people guide them through those, whether it's resources, assistance, whatever it may be. And so from that point, I was like, I want to do even more more for my community, more for my neighborhood. I was getting a little bit more involved with my neighbors and stuff, and getting some projects done around the community. So that's kind of what kind of launched it. And then our office has hosted prior campaigns. So I kind of got to see the backgrounds of those things. And that kind of sparked more of my interest of, hey, maybe this might be the right time to actually run for city council. So in 2021, 2022, I worked very hard reaching Chandler voters and earned a spot on city council.
Yay.
Yeah.
And so now you're the vice mayor.
Now I'm the vice mayor, which is another great honor to be part of. So yes.
So you basically fill in for the mayor if the mayor's not available, right?
Yes,
He's
the
not
mayor is very on top of things, so he's usually always there and stuff. But I have substituted for him at a meeting, but definitely work for him and represent the council. So I will go out to whether it's a different events, community events, different meetings and stuff to represent our city as a whole. Yes.
That's awesome.
And what does that role mean to you personally?
You know, growing up in Chandler and just being part of the community, it means so much to be part of that and to be part of the leadership at this point and to be able to represent all my fellow people from Chandler, all 290 some thousand people means a lot to me. It's very special. It's my hometown, and to be able to go out and stand tall because I go to different conferences around the country, international and stuff. And Chandler is a very well-known city, and people like to model the things that we do. We've been very successful, and to be a representation of that and to go represent us, it just means so much to me. Yeah.
But on city council, what are some things that you have done that you're really proud of and you want to continue to do into your next term if reelected?
Absolutely. So for me, it's a lot about engagement with the neighborhoods. I'm a big neighborhood person and a big advocate for our traditional neighborhoods. Those are our older neighborhoods that helped build Chandler. And so for me, it's going back to those neighborhoods and talking to them to see what needs they have. I don't want them to feel like they've been forgotten or neglected by the city. I want them to make sure that they know that, hey, we're right there, right beside you guys. If your neighborhood needs better lighting, if it needs speed bumps, if you guys need a cleanup project here, or what are you guys looking for in this neighborhood, know that the city's going to be there for you and also provide resources to uplift the neighborhood leaders that are there. I like to encourage them, whether you have someone who's very active in their neighborhood, to here's these tools. What can you guys do together as your neighborhood? And then how can we as a city support you as a council? And secondly, a big thing for me is getting our students involved. Growing up, being a CUSD student, I have many experiences and internships with the city that I want to activate our students as much as possible and get them involved in their local government as much as possible so they can be the future council members, mayors, or, work in City Hall and be part of that network within the city.
Or just understand government.
Or just understand government. Exactly. Some of them don't know like what in actual happens at a council meeting, or they don't even know who their mayor is or their council members and stuff. So providing them that knowledge and that pathway to see that, and with the welcome mat at our city hall, it means a lot to me to give back to the students.
Especially since you grew up in Chandler Unified School District.
Yes.
That's really important. Now, you talk a lot about neighborhood reinvestment. What does that actually mean?
Yeah, back to, as I mentioned, those traditional neighborhoods that may have, I don't want to say forgotten because we don't forget our neighborhoods in Chandler and stuff, but I like going back in there, and I have like a round table type of foundation where we go in and we have a neighborhood meeting, and we bring in the police department, we bring in the firefighters, we bring in our neighborhood resources, we bring in our community services departments, and we have the residents come in, tell us what are they missing in their neighborhoods, what would they like to see. Then we have them sit in small groups and do a kind of a round table where they're able to sit with each department. They can sit with the police department and be like, hey, we have this incident going on here in the downtown area. We have cars that are going, high speed, or they're going through the parking garage. What can we do? What can you guys help us with? Is it more patrols? They have that one-on-one communication. They actually get to meet the officers that are in their routes and their patrols and build that communication, which is very important. They can see them on the road and be like, hey, hi, especially our bike teams and stuff like that. So building that relationship, or whether it's with our neighborhood resources, which we have a plethora of different resources and services, whether they're renting out tools or equipment to clean their yards, or if they want to advocate for dumpsters in their neighborhoods, they can do that type of stuff. So it's getting the information to the residents, and then again, activating those residents as well. And through this process, I've been able to reach residents and in these neighborhoods again, they've wanted speed bumps in their areas. So getting them together to get the signatures and the funding and stuff to make that happen. Some of them wanted better lighting in their alleyways or along their streets. And others were just wanting more additional patrols in their area. So getting out there, making sure that, hey, we're here for you guys as well too, and bringing some attention to those.
Well, how does the homeless factor into neighborhood reinvestment?
To the neighborhood reinvestment. So that again, we do bring in our navigators into that program through neighborhood resources. So if there's someone experiencing um, being homeless or unsheltered at that time, it's letting the surrounding neighbors know what resources are available. So we have our navigation team; they're very on top of these things as well. So if they do see someone or get information about someone who's experiencing this, they go out there, make sure, do an assessment of what resources we have available, how can we house them temporarily, and get them through a path where we can make sure that they're going to be housed in a permanent situation. So a lot of our residents don't necessarily may not know about this actual program. So when we introduce it during these roundtables, they are now advocates for us. And whether they see somebody, or if they know somebody that's experiencing this, they're able to be like, hey, here's a phone number here. Go contact Angel over here, or one of the council members, or this navigation person here, to be able to help in those
Oh,
situations.
so they are like your cheerleaders. They reinforce the
Yes.
program because you guys make them aware of it.
Correct. Because they're in their own neighborhoods. And if they see someone who is experiencing that, they're only going to be the ones we don't have eyes everywhere. And so, or, resources to be everywhere at that time. So they can be advocates for us as well too, and be like, hey, these are the resources that are available at the city. Try working through this.
So go ahead.
Well, so Chandler's seen some of the lowest crime rates in decades, and you've reached full staff with your police recently. So moving forward into your next term, what kind of wellness resources and investments do you want to see with your first responders?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very proud that we have reached those lowest crime rates in Chandler and at fully staffed department. It hasn't happened in decades, as you mentioned. So we worked very hard as a council in this last year and with our new chief of police to be able to attract enough staff and retain staff on there. And that's going to be a continuous evolving situation there. So we want to continue doing that. And in my second term, I do plan on pushing that even further. In how can we make sure that we are giving our departments all the resources that they need to be one successful and keeping our community safe. That's the biggest important factor to any of us in our community, is making sure that everyone feels safe. They feel comfortable to be able to call the police to report a crime, and feel safe if the police are going to be coming to their homes to investigate. That's my biggest factor. And for me, I like to push community engagement when it comes to our departments. Again, tying back to building that relationship with those local officers that are patrolling your neighborhoods, and making sure those relationships are there so everyone feels comfortable in those manners. And obviously, we need to take care of our officers as well, make sure that they're in great health and in great shape and in a great mental space as well, because they're meeting us at some of our horrible times for some people. And just making sure that we have the right, whether it's treatment, wellness plans, whether it's gym equipment, whatever it may be, the right nutrition to continue them to be able to help the rest of our community.
Or even
So,
mental health,
Yeah.
correct.
Which is
Yes.
a big thing
Yeah.
these days.
Yes. And we provided different resources. We do have programs that our officers are able to go through to speak through their situations, through what they're going on, the heaviness of what happens and
Mhm.
stuff. So we have implemented a lot of that. So making sure that those programs are working and that they're available and that they will continue. Yeah.
So what are in working on the city council and in the community, it seems like you have a lot of community involvement based on you growing up with your mom and everything, but what are you most proud of?
Most proud of is, again, going back and representing my city here. I have a special little compared to my other council members, I have a special place for Chandler. It's my hometown. It's my place that I grew up in. I have a certain, these are like my streets is what I call it. You
Yes.
know, I used to run down through downtown Chandler after school and see the different places that were there before and see it transform. So I have a unique little perspective when it comes to things. When we're making a change or whether there's a development coming in, I have that in my background, in the back of my head. I'll give you a funny example. Our downtown Chandler Park renovations, there's these towers that were on each side, and I was fighting for these towers. I was the only one on council fighting for these towers because we're renovating, we're doing all new stuff, and it's going to look great and it's going to be beautiful. But to me, that is what downtown is about. Those towers. You knew you're in downtown Chandler. I grew up with them my whole life. They're like, why are you so attached to these things? I was like, for me and for the people that I know, the fellow residents, the families that I know, this is a symbol of Chandler, And so I like to carry those things with me when I'm either talking to residents or when new development is coming through. I like to bring that perspective and bring that to council as well and share my thoughts and experiences. So I'm very proud to do that. And obviously, being a representation of CUSD is great. I'm a product of that leadership, product of the leadership of council, and to be part of the leadership that's moving Chandler forward just means so much. I'm dedicated to it and committed to it, and I owe it to the families who helped raise me here, and so I'm just giving my portion back.
Yeah.
Well, you also know a lot of people and families in the community personally as well,
Yes.
because you grew up in that community. So it's not just the streets or the parks or the towers, it's the people. You know the
Absolutely.
people in those communities, because there still are a lot of people that you grew up with or that are still there or maybe moved away and came back, but you know them. So you want to help the community that you live in and grew up in and help the people as well.
I bet you've
Correct.
seen it change a
Yeah.
lot, right?
It has. It's transformed so much over the years, and even people who have been here longer than
What
me
did it
as
look
well.
like? I don't even know how old you are, but
Just look,
20 years ago, what was different?
South of Pecos Road was all farmlands.
Yeah.
It was literally fields and fields and fields. And I would go after school with my dad because he did construction, and I'd go with him to his estimates and stuff after school. And just after passing Pecos, that Walmart wasn't there, that 202 wasn't there, all those beautiful homes were not there. It was just all fields,
Oh,
all
yeah.
fields. And even in the downtown area, I just remember a lot of great spaces, whether it's the Arrow Pharmacy, whether it's the old Southside Video Store. My mom's office was down there and stuff. And it's great to still have those moments. Like my mom's old office is still standing there, and see what it is now and just be part of it. It means a lot. And going back to what you were mentioning, it is the families, generational families
Yeah.
that have been here forever and ever. My mom's family grew up in Chandler, and they grew up in Hightown, which is right off of McClintock and Chandler Boulevard. I don't know if you guys ever been to Espo's Mexican
Oh,
restaurant.
yes.
Hightown
Love it.
is right back there. That's where my mom's family grew up, a family of 13. Okay. And they're farm workers and stuff. And when they were moving to Chandler, they actually saved enough money to buy a home right in downtown Chandler. They thought they were moving to the big city, and they were moving miles away. My mom shares a story about how she cried because she's like, oh, I'm going to be like missing all these people. But she only went down the road 3 miles, And so to be part of that and hear the stories and everything that they've been involved in and stuff and being part of it, it just means so much.
And you want to preserve what made Chandler so
Yeah.
great,
100%.
right?
I mean, I absolutely relate to that. I grew up in Tempe, McClintock, and Southern, and we moved to Ahwatukee 30 years ago. And it was like
Nothing.
there was nothing in Ahwatukee, and you felt like you were in a different world. I mean, really, it was 5 miles, but there was nothing in Ahwatukee,
Yeah.
nothing. So I mean, you were so far away, and it felt like the drive was just forever. Like the IKEA wasn't there. That was just dirt. It was a dirt lot. That's where people used to have desert parties. So I mean, it's crazy to see the transition from even Chandler, but in Ahwatukee, Tempe, it's a totally different world. But yeah, absolutely, that is definitely relatable for sure.
So Chandler's landlocked, like Tempe, where I live. And so you guys will be growing up instead of out, right? Because it's landlocked. So does that impact your view or how you see or what you want to do with the city?
Absolutely. We're going to be going through redevelopment phases and seeing what Chandler is going to be looking like. And for the future, for me, I'm excited for it. And we're at such a place. Chandler is still such a small town, hometown place, but we are a very big city. We have a lot of population, and I'm excited to see what Chandler can transform into what it can become, and whether that is a little bit more density, taller buildings and stuff. We're reaching that growing pain point in Chandler where we need to either continue to expand or redevelop ourselves in a way that we can be able to accommodate the people that are still coming to move here, the companies that still want to be part of us, and make sure that we are going to be, again, attractive and competitive enough. That's the main goal for me. Is I don't want Chandler's light to dim. and not be a place that is the first thought for a company to come in, or for a first thought where a family wants to come and be here because of our schools and because of our quality of life. I want to remain that number one spot for people to come and consider. So
Yeah.
Well, so we're here with Chandler Vice Mayor Angel Encinas. We're going to come back with another episode. If people want to find out more information about you, how can they find you?
yeah, absolutely. You can go to my website at angelforchandler.com. That'll give you a little bit more information about the projects that I work on, what I'm running for on city council, a little bit about my background. You can always reach me directly. I have an open door policy on city council at my email address that you can find at chandleraz.gov. You can shoot me your questions. You can also find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm now on TikTok now. So I get a lot of DMs. So people can feel free to reach out with your questions, whatever it may be, concerns, and I'd be happy to help.
Well, thank you so much. This has been the Around the Districts podcast. Please share, like, follow, and we will see you on the next episode.